Hello and welcome to Gefet in the Daf. I'm Yael Shimoni, bringing to you learning more in depth in your Daf Yomi learning once a week, doing a Ran or a Tosfot on the Sugya, and we're Masechet Nedarim. And this is our last Gefet from Masechet Nedarim, and we're saying goodbye to the Ran. And today we'll learn a very interesting Ran, and we'll see how we'll finish our limud, not only learning Gemara and Halacha, but also a new thing to learn in Tanakh by the Ran that we will learn today. So our topic is Hashamayim beni uvenecha, a line in the Mishnah which the Gemara will decipher in a certain way, but the Ran will open an eyes for another way of understanding this pasuk or this psuk, the way that the Mishnah is saying this taina, Hashamayim beni uvenecha, and we'll see that we're not only going to learn Gemara today, but also learn Tanakh. So let's begin. We're starting with the last Mishnah in Masechet Nedarim, and the last Mishnah says the following: Barishona hayu omrot shalosh nashim yotzot. בראשונה היו אומרים, שלוש נשים יוצאות ונוטלות כתובה, האומרת מעני לך, השמיים ביני לבינך ונטולה אני מן היהודים. חזרו לומר שלא תהיה אישה נותנת עיניה באחר ומקלקלת על בעלה, האומרת מעני לך תבירה לדבריה, השמיים ביני לבינך יעשו דרך בקשה ונטולה אני מן היהודים. יפר לחלקו ותהיה משמשתו ותהיה נטולה מן היהודים. Okay, so the Mishnah here is an interesting Mishnah because it has Mishnah Rishona and then something that changed later. Mishnah Rishona, there were 3 tainot that women could say, and immediately it would result in getting a get and a ketubah. Tmea nilach is a taina that we can understand, that the woman is saying that she was tameh, meaning that she had intercourse with somebody who created a tuma in her, and therefore she's asura an ba'ala. And it sounds as if it's honest, and what kind of honest is this? So the Gemara will talk about honest. Isha nesura lekohen. We will not get into this. You will see it in the Peshat. Hashamayim beni levinecha, something that is very cryptic, and we can't really understand from the Mishnah what is this taina. Netulani min hayudim also is a little more cryptic, but the Gemara will explain that Netulani min hayudim has to do with Nedarim, that the woman is saying, I was noder and neder, that I will not be able to have an intercourse with anybody, not only you, but also any other person amongst Am Yisrael, and that is a reason for them to be Rushim. And then the Mishnah continues and says that at first these were tainot that had an immediate effect, but then after reality changed, bad reality, which we will not get into, then there has been changes also in the way that the Beit Din accepts these tainot. And our question in our short Gefet today is, what does it mean, Hashamayim beni levinecha? So let's look at the Ran here on the Mishnah, and the Ran says, Hashamayim beni levinecha muchach b'gemara, דאחי כאמר לי שאין שכבת זרעו יורק החץ ושעת השמיש ואינו ראוי להוליד ומתוקמה בבא וכמה טענה דאמרה בין החוטרה לידה אמרה לקבורה עליו אחרי אין בדבריה כלום דאמרי לה זילי לא מפקדת כדי אמרינן בפרק א' על פי. So says the Ran, if you'll continue learning the Gemara, you will see the answer in the Bavli. The Bavli says that the Taina, Hashamayim beni levinecha, is talking about a Taina about the possibility of having children. Sometimes you have a couple that don't have children, you don't know why. Is it because of the wife or is it because of the husband? And the wife can say, the reason that we don't have children is because he has problems. I can tell from the way we have intercourse that there is a problem with the Zera. He's not your Chetz, it's not a strong Zera, there's a problem there. And why is it called Hashamayim beni levinecha? The Gemara will say, because I am the only one who can know, because I feel in my body that there is a problem here, and nobody besides me can say that there is a problem with this man's ability to have children. So the Ran is quoting the Gemara, which you will meet soon, and the Ran adds and says, you should know that if a woman says that she cannot have children because of the man, that's not a good enough taina. She has to add another sentence. And why is that not a good enough taina? Because you've already learned Yevamot and Ketubot, and you know that women are apart from Priyah and Reviyah. So I just put it here, Yevamot, Daf Samechei, that says, Ha'ish mitzuvat Priyah v'Reviyah v'lo ha'isha. And Rabbi Yochanan Bruka says, no, it's both of them, but we're pasking according to Tanakama. And the Gemara there says, even though a woman is not chayav in priya, she can still say that she wants to have children, even though it's not a mitzvah for her. Why? So says the Gemara, Rav Nachman amar li lo mifkedat. A woman came to Rav Nachman and said, listen, I can't have children because of the man. I know there's a problem with him. So Rav Nachman says, what do you care? You don't have a mitzvah. So what was her answer? Amar le lo ba'ehachit et achutra leyada omar lekvura. Maybe I don't have a mitzvah, but I want children. I want to have somebody to take care of me in my old age. I want a chutra leyadi. I want a stick for my hand when I'm old. And mar lekvura, I want somebody to bury me. I want somebody to be my burial person, and that's why I need children, even though it's not a mitzvah. I still want children because I want people to take care of me in my old age and after I die. Amrei, said Rav Nachman, ki havadai kafinan. If a woman says that's why she wants to have children, and it means that she doesn't have any other children, and that's why she wants children from this man, because she wants to have somebody to continue and take care of her when in old age, even though she's not mitzvah. That's a taina for her to be divorced from this man. So the Ran says you should take the Gemara, you'll be learning soon, and add this taina in the woman's mouth. Not only is she saying there's a problem that she cannot have children from this man, also she claims she doesn't have any other children and she wants a child to take care of her in her old age. So that's the beginning of the Ran. And the Ran here is working with the Bavli, but I want to look at the continuation of the Ran, where he adds another explanation to the Mishnah. Continues the Ran and says, "Ve'af al gav damrinan b'Haggadah, she'amra lo Sarah imenu le'Avraham, hashamayim beni levenecha, shene'emar yishpot Hashem beni levenecha, דילמה היינו שהוא מרוחק ממנה לגמרי, כגון שרה שאתה טוענת על אברהם שרחקה מחמת הגר. ובירושלמי, נמי הכי משמע דאמרינן, כמו שמיים רחיקת מנהרה, ככה היית את הרחיקה מבעלה. אפשר דלשון השמיים ביני לבניך כולל הכל, אבל הכא מוכח בגמרא שפירושו שאינו יורק כחץ, וכי אמרה לה השמיים ביני לבניך, הכי אמרה אלוהים עד ביני ובניך דקושטא כאמינא, שדבר זה אין יודע בו אלא השם. Continues the Ran and says, there's a different way of understanding the sentence in the Mishnah. In the Agadda and in the Yerushalmi, it sounds like this is a different statement. Not Hashamayim b'ni levenecha, only God knows that I'm right, that you have a problem. Hashamayim b'ni levenecha means we are distant from one another, like the sky is distant from the earth. And the Agadda, says the Ran, claims that this is what Sarah said to Avraham with Hagar, and that's why Sarah wanted Avraham to take Hagar away and send her to the desert, because of Hagar. Avraham no longer wanted to be with his wife, and that's what Sarah told Avraham. Because of Hagar, we are far from each other, like the sky is far from the earth. So this is a very interesting Ran, because the Ran here is saying there's different interpretation for the Mishnah. Their interpretation is in Agadda, it's in the Yerushalmi, and maybe, says the Ran, this wording, Hashamayim b'ni levenecha, includes these two tainot, two very different tainot. One taina is that we are together, but we cannot have children, and the other taina is not that we can't have children, not because you have a problem, just because you will not be with me, and that's the problem. That's Hashamayim b'ni levenecha. According to the first explanation, Hashamayim b'ni levenecha says we're having intercourse, but only God knows that I'm saying the truth, that you have a problem. And different interpretation of Hashamayim b'ni levenecha, we are far from each other because of you, like the sky is far from the earth. So these are two different tainot. So let's see where the Ran brings them from. Let's look at the Yerushalmi at first. The Yerushalmi on this Mishnah says, Shamayim b'ni levenecha, a different Gemara. כמו דשמיים הרחיקים מן ערה, כך תהא, היית את הרחיקה מן ההוא גברא. Like the sky is far from the earth, that's how this woman is far from her man. If that's what the woman says the Yerushalmi, Yasu derech bakasha. Says Rav Huna, Yasu suda v'mitraklim lavo derech suda. Rav Huna says it sounds as if there's a sexual problem between this couple, so let's make a suda, and maybe they'll be more comfortable, and this problem will be resolved. So this is the Yerushalmi on our Mishnah. But where does it say in Agadda that this is what Sarah told Avraham. As I promised, we're learning Tanakh today and not only Gemara. So you know that this sentence in the Tanakh is very unclear. What exactly did Sarah say to Avraham? But according to the Pshat, it sounds that the reason that Sarah is angry is because of Ishmael and not because of Hagar. So where do we find this, that Sarah is saying Hashemayim beni levenecha, that she has a problem with Hagar? So I looked with the help of Project Shoot, and I found two Aggadot that use this sentence Hashemayim beni levenecha, speaking about Hagar, and which are saying very gently and maybe very cryptically this idea that the Ran said so straightforward to us in his Parshanut on the Mishnah. So the first place where I see this is in the Tosefta of Masechet Sosa. The Tosefta Hey Bet says the following: האומר לבעלה שמיים בני לבניך יעשו דרך בקשה ביניהם, שכן מצינו באימנו שרה, שאמרה לו לאבינו אברהם משפוט השם בני לבניך, אלא כך אמרה לו, גרש את האמה הזאת ואת בנה, מלמד שאתה אימנו שרה רואה את ישמעאל בנה במסין בצד חגבים, ומעלה ומקטיר לעבודה זרה. אמרה השם ילמוד יצחק בני כך וילך ויעבוד כך, נמצא ששם שמיים מתחלל בדבר. And then there's this whole machloket between Avraham and Sarah. So according to the Tosefta, they start with the words Hashemayim beni levenecha, but then the Tosefta continues and says what we know from the Pshat, that it sounds that the problem was with Ishmael, not with Hagar. So this is not good enough for the Agadda that the Ran is quoting. So what is the Ran based on? Maybe he's based on Masechet Tanot, Masechet Avot de Rabbi Natan. Here in Masechet Avot de Rabbi Natan, there's a very interesting passage discussing 10 different places that we have dots, nakod, in the Torah. Some of them are more famous than others, and the Masechta of Avot Rabbi Natan says that this sentence, Yishpot Hashem beni levenecha, also has a nakod. A nakod means that in the Masorah you have dots, and therefore there is some kind of double meaning in a pasuk. So says Avot Rabbi Natan, 10 נקודות בתורה אלוהן, ישפוט השם בני ובניך, נקוד על יוד שבבניך, מלמד שלא אמרה לו אלא על הגר. And that is the sentence in Avot Rabbi Natan. So here, maybe this is what the Ran is referring to, but I must say that the Agadda was much more secretive about what Sarah told Avraham, because here it says there is a dot on the Yud in Benecha, and this dot teaches us shelo amra lo ela al Hagar. In the Pshat, it looks as if she's talking about Ishmael, that he's the problem, but in the Masorah, we know that she also had something to do with Hagar, but Avot Rabbi Natan doesn't add that her claim was that Avraham stopped actually acting as her husband. This is what the Ran said based on the Yerushalmi and maybe this Agadda. So what we see here is a very interesting phenomenon that the Rishonim, the Ran here, is revealing something that the Agadda and Chazal actually kept secretive, that Sarah had a problem with the way Avraham conducted their partnership, their zugiyut, after she gave him Hagar. And it wasn't only a problem with Ishmael, it was a problem with how Avraham himself was treating Sarah. So I want to continue and see that this is not only the Ran revealing the secret of the Torah, it is also other Rishonim revealing the same secret. And also I want to see that these two different timing for the sentence, Hashemayim beni levenecha, are really present in Halacha and Rambam, and in Shulchan Aruch we'll look at the Rambam. So the Rambam in Hilchot Ishut Perek Tetvav and Perek Yudaled brings these two different claims as claims that a wife can say to her husband in front of Beit Din in order to be getting a get and a ketubah. So in Hilchot Ishut Perek Tetvav Halacha Chet says the Rambam, שעתה 10 שנים ולא ילדה, והרי הוא יורש שכבת זרע כחץ, חזקת החולי ממנה ותצא שלא בכתובה ויש לה תוספת. לא תהיה זו פחותה מהאילונית שלא הכיר בה שיש לה תוספת כמו שהתבהר. ואם אינו יורה כחץ, חזקת החולי ממנו בלבד, וכשיוצא יוציא ייתן הכתובה כולה, עיקר ותוספת. So here we have the first claim, אינך יורה כחץ, you have a problem with your zera, and therefore if we don't have children, I can get my ketubah because it is your fault. So that's here in Perek Vav Halacha Chet. And the Rambam in Perek Daled Halacha Zayin says that there's also another taina. איש ואשתו שבאו לבית דין, הוא אומר זו מורדת מתשמיש והיא אומרת לא כי אלא כדרך כל הארץ הנעימה, וכן אם תנה היא ואמרה שהוא מורד מתשמיש והוא אומר לא כי אלא כדרך כל הארץ הנעימה, מחרימים בתחילה על מי שהוא מורד ולא יודע בבית דין, אחר כך אם לא הודו, אמרו להם תתייחדו בפני עדים, תתייחדו ועדיין הם טוענים, מבקשים מן הניתן ועושים פשרה כפי כוח הדיין, אבל לפעול בפני בני אדם אי אפשר לפי שאסור לבעול בפני כל בריאה. So the Rambam here says that either the husband or the wife can be taught that there's a sexual problem. He's not with me. The wife can say it is just like the husband can say it. It's not only a mered, it's not only a mered, it's also a mered. And if she claims that, so the first thing that you do is that you're doing a cherem to see who's saying the truth. And if the cherem doesn't help and nothing continues, so then you do a peshara kefi koach hadayan. And it sounds like a very serious accusation and situation. And where is this coming from? The Raavad is cholek on the Rambam in one point, and he's going to say, I don't think you can do a cherem in such a situation, but through his machloket, the Raavad also claims that the Rambam here is based on the Yerushalmi and the Agadda that the Ran quoted. So let's read the Raavad. Amar Avraham, אין אני רואה בכלל פשרה לדיין, ומשנתנו היא. סוף נדרים, השמיים בינו לבינה, ואמרו בירושלמי, כמו דשמי הרחיק אל מנערה, תהיה האיתתה רחיקה מן העוגברה, כלומר שהוא פרוש ממנה, לכן אמרו בהגדה, שרה ממנו אמרה לאברהם אבינו, השמיים ביני לבינה, שהרחיקה בשביל הגר. Okay, so here we see that it's not only the Ran who revealed the secret of the Agadda, also the Raavad reveals where the Agadda was much more mysterious, claiming that Sarah said to Avraham, I have a reason for you to be Megarish Hagar. Because of her, you are no longer acting as my husband. So just to sum up the machloket between the Raavad and the Rambam, the Maggid Mishnah says, even though the Raavad thinks there's no place for Haramot because in the Yerushalmi it says that you have to do a Suda, says the Maggid Mishnah, a Suda is just one way to get this couple together. If you have other means, you can also use other means. So that's just to cover a little bit more ground when it comes to the halacha that we have here, which we really did just a small bit. So I want to go over what we saw today. We started by asking, what does it mean, Hashamayim b'ni levinecha, a cryptic line in the Mishnah, a cryptic taina, and we saw, with assistance of the Ran, that we have seemingly a machlok between the Bavli and the Yerushalmi. According to the Bavli, it's a taina about whether or not she can be pregnant because of the man, and she claims there's a problem with his fertility. That's in the Bavli. However, in the Yerushalmi, it's a different taina. Hashamayim b'ni levinecha means that we're not acting as man and wife because of you. You keep away from me. The meaning of Hashamayim in the Bavli means only God knows that I'm telling the truth because I'm the only one who can say that. I cannot bring any other proof for my understanding that you are the one at fault. And in the Yerushalmi, it's not involving God. It's more of a description of the situation that you are being away from me. And what we saw that halachically, these are two different ta'anot that a woman can definitely have and bring to Beit Din. And exactly when do you accept these ta'anot? How are they supposed to be nitanim? What are the different situations, the different resolutions before a get? That we only saw a bit of. And the most important and interesting thing that we saw now, that we're not only learning Gemara, we're also learning Tanakh, and that we have a very cryptic Agadda saying that when Sarah claimed as a problem to Avraham, it wasn't only a problem in Yitzchak, it was also a problem for Hagar. And the Rishonim reveal that Sarah claimed that Avraham stopped acting as her husband ever since he saw that Hagar became pregnant, and then he just stopped being with Sarah. And that was what Sarah had to say to Avraham in that situation. So this was our last Gefet from Masechet Nedarim, and I thought it was a good way to sum up our limud, not only learning Gemara and Rishonim, but also learning Agadda and Tanakh. So I hope this learning Me'iyun give you a little bit more three-dimensional feeling on your learning and on your finishing of Nedarim. I find this new understanding in the Pshat of what exactly Sarah had to say to Avraham and what was the problem very interesting and something new that the Rishonim here are giving us a present that without them we would have had great difficulty understanding from the Agadda itself. So just to conclude, I want to say Yishar Koach to all those finishing Masechet Nedarim and welcome aboard all those who are joining us for Masechet Nazir, and Bezrat Hashem, I hope that you will be celebrating your Siyum and you will begin the next Masechta and we will meet again, Bezrat Hashem, next week. Take care.